How was Thanksgiving?
Good. Quiet. Just me and the girlfriend for the day. 16-pound turkey, 10 pounds of stuffing. We ate our ears off, so, yeah. I know.
Welcome to the Mezzanine! Ooh, we're live. I heard some audio there. You got your audio on.
It's off. I just
Deacon
muted it.
Mojack.
Damn it. I did it again.
I hope everybody has had a
did it
good
again.
Thanksgiving. We'll chat
Sorry.
with what you guys did on Thanksgiving here in a second. We have Autist 0.92 with us. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving calculating the cubic roots of various irrational numbers?
I did.
Okay, excellent. The Deacon Mojack, you
Yes,
did
sir.
not get a bear,
No bear.
but yes, turkey.
No turkey. Well, yeah, lots of turkey.
Well, you weren't hunting turkey.
No, but I ate lots of turkey. Holy
Ate lots of turkey.
crap,
I just
man.
meant ate a turkey.
Between two of us, we had a 16-pound bird, so...
We have a bit of family in the audience. We have no camera to put on them, but we're not going to anyway. We have maybe the future greatest producer in human history sitting in the audience right now. We'll see.
I brought
More
my
on that. We've officially decided, and when I say we, I mean me, that I will be leaving my stupid day job again so that I can fully dedicate myself to this. 2024 is going to just be too damn wild not to go all in on it. I'm just going to do it. So, the Mezzanine has been fun. We probably have 2 more, at least, episodes left, and then we will have done what we were intending to do with the story between stories, so to speak. We will have a new studio setup somewhere. Blah, 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 blah. Although it is a holiday, I'm getting dramatic here on myself. Let me zoom in on the guy I want to see. This is why we need a
Producer, technical advisor.
Still a lot of stuff happened, and I think we have a nice mojacking off session for you.
Yeah.
What a strange sentence to say.
I guess, man.
There should be some intense, angry metal music playing right now. But you're going to have to add that energy yourself. Deacon Mojack, before you mojack off.
Let's have a prayer, folks. Everybody bow their head in prayer. Dear Lord, we thank you for another day together on planet Earth. Please look after the sick. Please look after the sick-minded. Please help our troops and our leaders decide what we're going to do in this great country of ours that's so screwed up that we can't even begin to tell you. Dear Lord, we ask this in your blessed name. Bless each and every one of us throughout this holiday season. I ask this in your blessed name. Amen.
Amen. And I truly do hope everybody had a good,
Yes.
relaxing Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I
More
hope.
on that in a minute. Before we get to the nice stuff, let's get to the messed up stuff. This is my favorite part.
So, folks, I've been off for what? A week, 2 weeks now?
Out
been out
hunting.
in the big woods, running around, trying to kill game. Killed lots of time, but didn't kill no game yet. So, folks, in between me running around the woods and whatnot,
What is on your mind?
I have been able to come up with something that it's out of this world. So, a car full of explosives shows up at the Canadian border on the Rainbow Bridge in New York.
Hey?
And all of a sudden it explodes.
You got it.
But it's not a terrorist
It's
act.
not a terrorist attack.
It's not a terrorist attack, according to our officials and the mainstream media. How does that happen?
Nobody panic. Happens all the time.
No, man. It's just something. They were just taking their explosives for a ride across the border. That's all they wanted to do. They wanted to show them the Canadian side
I will often
of the world.
just throw explosives in some sort of
I take
four-wheeled
mine
vehicle
for
and
fun.
just find
Yeah.
various borders to cross.
Yeah, I'd like to take the dog and the explosives for a ride through the countryside every now and again.
And cars, they blow up.
They do, man. For some reason, when they're full of explosives.
Shit happens.
So did they do it so they didn't get caught? Or did they do it just to try to scare everybody?
Ah, the false flag.
The false flag. Folks, our northern border is just as porous as our southern border.
That's
And it's
awesome.
probably one of the bigger worries that nobody worries about is our northern border because we're with Canadians. You know, the Canadians are quiet people. They live their lives in quietness up there in the great wilderness and stuff. Meanwhile, them sleeper cells are there. And I think this was just another way of
Are you implying that sleeper cells prefer the quiet?
sleeper cells prefer.
Did you just make a sleeper cell pun?
Yeah, I guess I did, didn't I? I didn't even try, and that happened. How's that? But
What's
yeah,
next?
folks, it's
We'll talk. We'll get into the
unbelievable.
details
It's
on that weird shit
unbelievable.
that happened on
It's
the old
unbelievable.
Rainbow Bridge.
Then you got Xi Jinping.
Why didn't Mario red shell his ass?
They ain't gonna do that.
That's a
They're
generational
peaceful.
joke.
They're
You get-
peaceful.
you
They're
get me.
peaceful.
All right, what's that? What else is
Xi
bothering you?
Jinping shows up in San Francisco for a Pacific Asian Economic Summit.
What'd you call him? What's his name?
Gigi.
Yeah,
Gigi.
that is what we're gonna call him from now on.
Gigi. He's Gigi Ping.
Gigi.
It's
What's that?
Gigi.
What's that? What's that phoneme you're using right there? Is that an XH?
It's Xing. Gigi.
But spit.
No, I spelled it Chi. It's Gigi.
Well, that sounds like Chi-Chi.
It's Chichi. It's Chichi. Anyhow, Chi Ping.
You're a cunning linguist.
He didn't come over here for no economic summit, folks. He come over here to check with his generals to find out where they're at.
General Gavin Newsom.
Probably. Yeah, well, he had welcomed him with open arms at the airport, didn't he?
You're not wrong.
I mean, absolutely open arms at the airport. Here, what do you need? What do you want? We'll give it to you. But he come over here just to check with his generals to see where they're at, how much money they need, and how soon they're going to be ready. They're going to unleash all hell out here. I know they are. I'm serious. The Chinese are the ones we got to worry about, people, because they're the ones that are infecting this country. They own how many thousands, hundreds of thousands of acres of farmland. They've taken over the pork industry, the soybean industry, you name it. They're in charge of everything.
They have a
right
100% monopoly on the Chihuahua meat industry also.
Chihuahua.
Oh my.
That's 100% Chinese controlled.
That is.
Not to get you off your thing, but I thought I saw in Arizona they started to say that foreign-owned property had to be sold and given back.
Yeah, they had to give it back after being sold. And what they've been doing with that land when the Chinese are buying it, the township officials or whatnot are actually taking that and putting some kind of hold on it where they're not allowed to build, industrialize, or anything. So it's basically worthless land that they have out there that they can't do anything with because the state laws and everything are stopping them from putting industry or farming or anything on those fucking lands. But it's too late. They already own enough of it. They already own so much of it out there. Smithfield Pork. Smithfield's owned by the Chinese, completely owned by the Chinese.
We'll get into the weeds on that as well.
Yes.
Are you anything else you got to get off your chest?
It's coming, folks. I mean, seriously, mainstream media, our government leaders are all lying to us. Nobody's giving us the truth. Nobody has a clue in this country that actually watches the news of what's really going on because the news ain't news. The news is a made-up propaganda fucking machine that is totally out of control. Totally out of control. But I'm telling you, folks, you need to just be prepared. And if you live in big cities, please, you see something, say something, do something. We got to stop it now, folks, because it's coming and it's coming quick. World War III is coming down the pike, and I hate to say that, but they are. It is coming down the pike, and the Chinese are going to be the ones that are going to be doing it. These colors don't run, people.
If not now, when, right?
March 2024. We're only 3 months away from it.
I meant more
according to predictions.
Patrick Henry style, right? If we don't need to do something now, then what are we waiting for? Now's the time, right?
Now is the time. Come together. Gear up. Stock up. Oh. And on stocking up, I'll have more on that later.
Prepping. It is going to be an insane year. That's my prediction. Man. I know that's a meaningless...
COVID's coming back in full force, folks.
COVID.
It's coming back. You know why? Election time.
Election is going to make everything crazy.
Crazy ain't the word for what.
I didn't mean to truncate your jack-off session there.
No, I'm good.
I didn't mow blue balls you, did I?
No, I'm still good. Things are still comfortable.
I do hope everybody has had a good Thanksgiving break. I know it's been a much-needed reprieve for myself. Autist, you've been doing some contracting work. Have you been able to take a break yourself also during this?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Good.
Good deal.
Being a contractor, it's got to be hard. It has to be hard to get time off.
Well, do people want you in their house on Thanksgiving holidays?
No. In fact, sometimes I get a little... I get forgetful of the societal norm.
Oh, you want to work?
Yeah. Why are you here? Family's here. No.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah. Whoops.
I ran out of my last pair of contacts. That's why I'm wearing glasses.
I was wondering.
A lot of people in the chat will be happy to know. They were very concerned about that. They said you shouldn't wear monthly contacts for 7 years.
No.
Agree to disagree.
No.
Then why do they make them?
Then why are they in my eyeballs, right? Yeah, why are they in there? Explain that to me.
That's funny. We all got
I
glasses
got a
on.
lot of end of the year. But by December, I've got a bunch of stuff I need to go buy that I've let go bad over the previous 11 months. So it's gonna be. We're gonna work out this December. Come beginning of January, full time content. Ideally every night of the week. How cool would that be? Mojack and I at minimum Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get your content going. Some of the outdoor stuff. Still haven't got the music on the show, but I know how to do it now. I just need to add it. I've really been aggressively taking a break this weekend. Sorry.
We need to get our future producer over here to show you how to do all
Let's
that.
because he has his own stuff going on, let's not throw him in the mix on this episode.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to think about how I can launch him properly.
He's young.
You only get one first impression,
That's right.
and I don't want to half-ass it.
No.
So, yeah, we want it to work out for him, right? But this is good. Slowly pulling the crew together, pulling the plan together, getting some builders and makers and welders and gun owners and bomb makers together, and it's going to be an interesting time.
Hey.
I do think, I think we're about 1 year out now.
Yeah.
So my interest in all of this has been in the timing.
It's got to be by election time.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not pulling some secret algorithm out of my ass to come up with that number. It's the election, roughly 1 year from now. Some interesting things have happened. There's some of it's alluded to in that ticker along the bottom of the screen. But let's talk about, my thing has been, what is the problem? And in part of thinking about that rhetorical question, factions. There are different factions out there. I've encouraged people not to think of Trump, for example, as Trump, but as the face or head of a faction. Not to think of DeSantis as DeSantis, but as the face, probably not the head in his case, of a faction. And Gavin Newsom and Xi Jinping.
Gigi.
These are all,
Gigi.
yes, I mean, literally, yes, they're one person, right? I'm not saying it's a alien supernatural thing. No. But that is a representative of a faction. And then on top of that, these factions have a lot of overlap. So, for example, let's go back to Gavin Newsom. In a sense, he is the leader of the public-facing California faction, let's say. He's probably also the leader of other factions in California. He's also a subordinate in the faction we call Democrats, which itself is made of many different factions. It has a West Coast faction, Dianne Feinstein. So you get what I'm talking about, right? This very combinatorial. There's different groups within groups, overlapping groups. There's a hierarchy, but it's not strict. Blah, 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 blah. And that's all being said through this lens of what the fuck is going on with Israel. We all saw how Focus on Ukraine just went Israel immediately. That is clearly what whoever is in charge of the world is more interested about, is Israel rather than Ukraine. Of course, more so than that. Probably connected, right? So, a lot of rambling. What I'm getting at is Trump, who is my favorite faction, has been very pro-Israel. Is he being political? Is it a necessity to be pro-Israel right now? Is he being a good politician? Or have all our hopes and dreams been dashed? Let me ask it a different way to get the conversation rolling. When Trump says, I am pro-Israel, I am the most pro-Israel president in history, does he mean what he's saying, necessarily?
Coming from Trump? Yeah. If it would come out of another leader's or some other politician's mouth, no, I wouldn't believe that. But when has Trump ever really lied to us as the American people about what's going on, about what's really going on? I think he's our safest faction that we have in place right now.
Yeah, okay, so I do agree with that. I think he is the most upfront with us, the American public, about what's going on. I don't think he's entirely upfront, frankly. And
I don't think he can be.
Right, that's my point.
Do you think he's become more of a politician since his first election?
That's what I'm hoping.
Yes. Yeah, I think he has that mindset.
Why are you hoping that?
Because it's necessary with these factions that you... I hate using like movies as metaphors. but I'm going to do it anyway.
You can't resist it.
Have you ever seen an old movie called The Newsies?
No.
No?
No.
A musical?
No.
No.
Are you guys serious?
Yeah.
You haven't seen The Newsies? I used that one because I figured you'd see.
I haven't.
No.
I don't watch movies.
They're
You
too
guys
young.
seen The Newsies? Christian Bale's breakout role?
Nope.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, let me tell the Newsies story first so that I can then tell the Newsies story.
Better get a cigarette for this.
The Newsies is based on a true story about early America, New York. Randolph Hearst, was that his name? The newspaper guy?
Yes.
They would pay a bunch of broke-ass, mostly Italian kids to go, sell all the newspapers and stuff. They were called the Newsies.
Okay.
A newsie was
All
a
right.
little paper boy. And there was different factions of newsies that had sort of territory throughout the city, and they would battle with each other. They were extremely disorganized. They were their own worst enemy, and the newspaper publishers used this infighting amongst themselves to get them to do this job essentially for nothing. And this really did happen. The newsboys somehow organized a union amongst themselves, and this involved, so the movie would have you believe, Christian Bale singing wonderful songs and dance tunes with these Italian street thugs. And they basically, he went around, found the leaders of these differing factions and got them to work together. That's kind of what I see Trump doing. I think as stupid and ridiculous and retarded as that metaphor is, we're kind of like the Newsies. I mean, we're very disorganized and immature, and there's still a lot of this, I want to be the guy going around. There's a lot of selfishness. There's a lot of need for glory.
In general or in politics?
In this, well, in general, honestly, yeah. But in this specific political situation. Strange times means we need strange allies. I mean, if you got to make strange allies to save the country or continue to preserve the possibility of saving the country at the very least, to not let it go too far into the shitter, we gotta ally with some interesting, strange people. This has already happened to a large degree. Imagine 20 years ago the amount of gay or racial minority or whatever.
True.
There's a lot of those people on the right now. And I think, honestly, in a lot of ways for the better. In some ways for the worse. It's muddied the waters. But that comes back to, that's why we ask, what is the problem? The players have changed. The teams have changed. The owners of the teams have changed. A lot of the rules in the game have changed. And so I think that is what I see Trump doing. And it's a tacit acknowledgement of the way politics works. It also could be a very strong and final black-pilling indicator that Israel just runs the world, and that's just the way it is.
Or is that who the sanctions and
You're
the
saying-
factions want to run the world?
I don't know.
You're saying because of his
Well, he's pandering.
support.
He's You clearly must pander to them to become president.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the kind of ominous thing.
It's crazy.
It's also fucking stupid. Let's just take over the world.
Well, that's what we should be doing. That's what we did. That's what, where did that go away?
What
Where
happened to
did-
Sylvester Stallone
Huh!
running around with his heart literally just borderline stopping every moment from the amount of steroids flowing through his veins?
Oh, I thought you were making another movie reference.
Well, it's
That was-
called
the movie called America in the 1980s in real life, that movie.
Yeah.
Imagine you're some kind of terrorist, if they're even real. I don't even know if I believe that anymore. But imagine you're some kind of terrorist in a jungle. You're lurking. You hear a noise. You hear a twig snap. Turn over your shoulder. It's a 5'4" Italian-American man named Sylvester Stallone. His pectoral muscles are pushing out of the sleeves of his shirt. They're so big. He holds up his long sleeve shirt, and right at his wrist you see his pecs. And he says, "Hey, I'm here to kill you." And then you die.
Yeah.
That was real life for a while. That was the world we lived in.
Yeah. Yep.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
Pretty cool, let's be honest.
And what happened?
We couldn't hurt their feelings.
Yeah, we kind of hurt their feelings.
Steroids don't care about your feelings, as Ben Shapiro would say. How come nobody has slapped Ben Shapiro in the face with facts don't care about your feelings yet with his talk about losing your shit.
Man. Holy Jesus. He really...
His entire brand was about being... Do you know who Ben Shapiro is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch his podcast, and yes, I do.
I just want to I feel like Ben Shapiro would be nice if you were really depressed and you just curled up on the couch with some popcorn and some snacks and a little Ben Shapiro.
What?
God, I hate that guy.
No, I got
He
it.
sucks. I'm making fun of him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I watch him just to see what kind of shit comes out of his mouth anymore.
I mean, he's a smart guy.
Oh, he's very smart. I mean, don't get me wrong.
But his entire shtick was
Yeah.
getting people to be overly emotional and
Yeah.
then attacking them for it.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's enough of my pensive,
So do you think with
moody thinking.
Trump taking the side of the Israelis ties in with a lot of this colleges protesting? The way they've been protesting, you think that that's somebody setting a fire, going against Trump again? I mean, to make him look bad as far as... Or did he come out with this, which he did come out with this after the protest, that he was pro-Israeli? I think that's all tied together between, there's somebody that's fueling the fire for these college students to go out and...
Yes.
There's money being spent. There's money being injected into these protests at these colleges and stuff. And I think a lot of that's coming from our government, and I think a lot of that's coming from the left, to try to make the right, as usual, look bad, and Trump supporters look bad as well.
And
these kids in the colleges, they don't know anybody. They won't.
I was gonna say, I find it interesting. It's always college kids.
It's always college kids, isn't it? Yeah. And as a parent, if my child was in that college and was protesting, I'd be up in arms about it, because I'm not paying the college. I'm not paying for your education for you to go protest and do stupid shit like that. I'm paying for you to get an education and stuff. Colleges don't care, because most of the colleges are liberal colleges anymore. We had how many over here protesting that one day? It was like 3,000 or something in the streets over here protesting that one day. That's ridiculous. That's just, I think the sanctions are the government, especially the left, somewhere is injecting the money into these protests and fueling that fire.
You're definitely right. Sorry,
I know.
I'm trying to. The stream is being a little slow on me with my camera switching here, and I'm just trying to make sure it's not hung up.
I think it's in general fire fueling.
Real quick, Mojack, is you got a live version of this up over there?
Yeah.
Is it look okay?
Yeah, everything's fine.
All right. Well, it seems to be working. Not sure what's going on with the OBS, but no. So there is definitely a lot of money. Being thrown at this. There was an interesting leaked phone call going back to the Israeli and diaspora Jews, where they were panicking and speaking to the effect of they've been playing, this is their words, this whole left versus right game all this time, and that they're realizing it's the wrong game. And the numbers they're getting from their internal polling is not that the right is pro whatever and the left is pro whatever, and I'm talking about Israel and Palestine, right? And of course, it's very much in Israel's interest to have everybody be pro-Israel, is that all the pro-Israel people are very old, and all the pro-Palestine people are very young.
Okay. You said about the polls. There's a poll out, and the latest poll, believe them or not, says that Biden and the Democrats are siding with Palestinians 40%, 41%, and 34% of the Democrats are with Israel.
Say those numbers again.
41% are with Palestine, and 34% of the Democratic support is with Israel.
Israel, okay. And this is Democrats only.
Democrats only. That's just the Democrats.
So the numbers they were freaking out about was it was like 80% of people under 30 are pro-Palestine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I found really interesting and surprising.
I've seen that.
have people under that age actually read up on their history about what's going on.
Oh, you think that they're wrong to be pro-Palestine?
I don't think anybody's wrong. I'm just saying, are they educating themselves enough to know whether they're right or wrong in their cause?
I kind of hear where you're coming from. How are they forming their opinion?
Yes.
And I think a lot of the younger generation have a very similar, whatever that source is. So, yeah.
Let's just go along.
Which, what
so
you're saying is
we're going to go along with
the
that.
television is what you're saying? Where are you saying they're getting it from?
Mainstream media.
Okay.
Mainstream media. And I'm not talking Fox, Newsmax.
I'll be honest. I feel like it might be something like TikTok.
Don't. The mainstream media is very pro-Israel.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're panicking. I think I'm kind of inclined to believe that's what I've seen too.
But CNN, if you watch CNN, they're more leaning towards the Palestinians in their rhetoric. They're not coming right out and saying, but in their rhetoric, they're more of a Palestine. You know, they're more backing the Palestinians. They think they're.
Well, maybe they're trying to be neutral, and your interpretation of that is
I could be
supporting Palestine.
And
then.
that could be because I don't like CNN too. But no, I think you're right too. As far as the college kids. Well, okay, they're saying this, so we got to go along with that.
Yeah, they take the first thing they hear and
yep,
they run
or
with
we're
it.
going to be outcast, we're going to be shunned or whatever throughout the rest of our lives and stuff.
I think the problem is anyone can post anything on that.
On TikTok,
and then people hear it, and they're like, oh, well, that's a fact.
And, and I hate to say it, but everybody knows that that's a Chinese program, that they are watching everything. And I think they're the ones that are throwing the rhetoric and some of the hints into all that as well to help fuel that fire with these younger people. And I know all these kids, they love the TikTok. They love to do the TikTok stuff and everything. And I get it.
I don't.
But at the same point, we have to be on guard about that. Because them sons of bitches, man.
Yeah, but what do you mean by on guard? I think you just have to. I think it's important to ensure that the younger generation, which would be your responsibility, like your younger generation, like how. Think about like your resources. You can first of all get more than one.
Yep.
You can't just have one resource and run with it. You got to collect opinions and then form your own opinion.
Yep. And I don't think these college kids are doing that. They're taking that first
which
thing.
Which is interesting because
running
in college, which I would think.
Yeah, and for some reason, it seems, and I don't know, call me old, but for some reason, when these kids go to college and they get a great college education, they lose all their fucking common sense. It's taught out of them. They come out of there and they don't have the common sense they had before they walked in there.
I think I was telling you about the study NASA did with trying to find genius criteria.
Yes.
And so, they selected a group of children, and they have, okay, here's our criteria for being a genius, and some high number, I want to say it's like 94% met that criteria. 94% of those children met the criteria for being a genius. And they continued to monitor them as they, grew up, went through the public school system. And every time they did this study again, they found that the number would drop. It would drop. I think by the time they were maybe 12, 14, it was something like 38%. And then by the time they were adults, it was 5%. So the idea was the school system, and that was their takeaway, I think maybe even interpreted, I could be wrong, was that you're not taught to think. You just take what is given to you.
Mm-hmm.
And George
almost
Carlin,
you're untaught to think is almost more what that's implying.
George Carlin said a long time ago, our government does not want working, intelligent people. They want stupid, obedient workers.
Mindless. Don't question me.
Don't question it. Just do as we say, and that's the way it is.
And it would allow for manipulation too. Yeah.
Yep. And I think that's where we're at with this. I think that's a big part of our problem. Underlying.
Good talk, and sorry, OBS is being a bitch on me right now. It seems to be like we have stayed live this whole time, as best as I can tell.
Looks like it from here.
Let me get this fucking shit off here. I cannot figure out which part of this fucking software is getting hung up. That's okay. I'm an angry motherfucker, sorry. What is hanging you up?
So, anything you want to talk about?
No, I was reading through the chat. I like what a lot of these people are saying. Look at the sky at night. This comes from Phones. I like that. It's a grid, not constellations. Well, yeah. Somebody please explain Starlink to me. Because to me, that's nothing but military. I'm sorry, man. That has nothing to do with my internet, your internet, anybody's internet. That's all something that Elon's putting up for the military or trying to catch
Well,
something coming in with the military.
Even if it's used for the military,
Oh.
it's a private.
Oh, I fucking find it. I think I got it.
Uh-oh.
I mean, it'd be like mercenaries.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
consider them part of our military.
No,
But-
no.
They do that.
But this world may come to that.
Elon Musk, what is going on there?
Boy, he ruffled feathers,
It
didn't
honestly
he?
is tying. I mean, we haven't changed the subject, which is what makes it so weird.
Or even Starlink was brought up.
We haven't. You say Elon Musk, and you're still talking about, in today's political news climate, you're still talking about Israel. You're still talking about Palestine. You're still talking about Jews. He's been throwing some interesting stuff out there when it comes to the Jews. I'm really quite shocked. I don't know where this stuff is coming from, but it was obviously one of these factions' plans.
Yes.
Somebody. Do you think some of the anti-Jewish stuff is coming from the Jews?
Boy, that's another
Why?
look on that, isn't it?
Why?
Why?
Yeah. Why
Wouldn't it? That's an interesting take on that when you look at it.
Well, like,
I mean,
I don't know that I want to talk about that right now.
Okay.
But
yeah,
yes,
'cause
yes,
I
at some
just had to
point.
stop myself because I was going to say something
So
and I don't want to say
You want
it.
to talk about the why later, and you want to discuss.
I just want to make the accusations. I don't want to back them up.
Okay.
Oh, damn it,
Okay.
son.
You know what I'm saying? There's always, Jewish or otherwise, a benefit to controlling the narrative going on about yourself. And all great entertainers seem to understand this. Even people like Michael Jordan controlled the narrative about himself. And if you understand that and then you get good at that trick, you'll start to understand that if your narrative is, I'm the greatest person ever and never make any mistakes, like that's kind of how Kanye West talks about himself, doesn't work.
People naturally.
You kind of, after a while, like, it's obviously not true. If you
Nobody's perfect.
humanize yourself and accept blame, like something the faction, if there is such a faction as the Jews, or at least some, they're very good at understanding that you can accept a small amount of inconsequential blame to set. It's like, okay, think about an abuser. It's kind of like, well, yes, you're right. I punched you in the face. But it's only because I love you so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, I'm an out of control
that was
guy
a-
because I love you so fucking much.
If that was an intention from the faction, I think they would find a face that would not carry weight with what they were saying. Like, still let the people say it. Like, if that's what you're saying. you
Oh,
can
like
use the word.
have a throwaway person make the yeah, they do that all the time. Burning your assets.
But I mean, you're talking
strategically.
about Musk, right? I don't think I would consider that a throwaway asset.
No. Well, he's not making throwaway comments. He's sticking with them. This is clearly some
Standing with them.
The question is the narrative change, is he part of some faction, or is he even just picking up on a vibe that's out there, which is, I think, definitely out there?
Yeah, I think he's picking up on the vibe.
Or has he been planning, I mean, has this vibe been planned to be put out there? Here's what I would say. I think in so many words, nobody is in control of whatever the world, quote unquote, the world. That's everything. Everything going on, I'm calling that the world. And is anyone in control of that? No, I don't think so. I don't think you can be. Within that, you have the human world, right? Politics, geopolitics, all the different countries and people vying for power amongst each other.
I think Musk and Trump. So the idea is Musk was more political and has been able to become less political over time. He's gained some confidence in being able to be who he truly thinks and wants to be. And Trump has done the opposite, that he's had to be, like he thought something, he said it. And he's had to become more political.
Yeah, okay. So they're
Mhm.
both moving towards becoming the same person, in a sense. You're saying,
they're moving towards
which is the
like a
person
reality
they
and
believe
socially
people
accepted.
want to be our leader.
Mhm.
So you think
Yes.
Musk wants to be president? Maybe.
I don't think he does. No.
I don't think he does either. I don't think he wants that.
But
that
I also
burden.
didn't think Trump did, and he actually said a few times he didn't want to be.
Do you think Musk is serious when he talks about what he wants and what he believes? Like, do you think he's truthful about his motivations?
I do. I've also seen what I believe is being reserved, but I've seen that has become less of a case over time. I've seen him become more confident in he's going to say something. He's going to say what he's thinking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Why now?
I don't know if it's a now. I don't know if it's like this current situation. I think it's just over time. All of the things that have happened, all of the things that are going on, I think he's just become more comfortable with his ability to express his opinion.
He's gained confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Without like he was trying to be political. He was trying not to cause issues, and I think now it's like, well, I kind of don't care.
And this has been and that's for the better. I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
So my personal opinion is I want people to say what they're thinking.
Right.
I don't want the fake face. I want to know what's
Yeah, I
going
don't
on.
want him blowing smoke up my ass like every other politician has.
Well, maybe Deacon Mojack, you can help me understand this because you've been watching all this go down 20 years longer than either of us have. What I can't understand is I've seen enough in my mid-30s. I've seen enough presidential elections or just politics in general. I know they're lying.
Mhm.
Like if a president's like, if you elect me,
Mhm.
you won't have to pay taxes anymore. I don't believe them.
Read my lips.
Yeah, right.
You know, there's the biggest example.
So why do we seem to still fall back into this trap of these elections coming up? Here come all the presidential candidates. Here they come saying all this stuff. Why are we believing any of it? Not that not that we shouldn't believe, not that you're liars, but just like why do we give it any? Why does the words out of a politician's mouth, whether it's Trump or anyone else, haven't we seen this pattern long enough to understand that their words are meaningless?
And I think a lot of that is hope
That's what I was
for
gonna say.
better days ahead. I mean, you could go all the way back to Vietnam. Lyndon Johnson. Lyndon Johnson was one of the biggest liars, and I mean outright on camera liars.
Well, I
about
almost am coming
things.
from the opposite direction, though. To me, it was discouraging that Trump was so pro-Israel, and the fact that he could be lying, and I know that all politicians will lie if they need to. That's encouraging to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because again,
Discouraging. It's like you don't like that.
no, it's a silver lining that when he says pro-Israel things, I am allowed to believe that he might just be saying the shit he thinks he needs to say to get elected. That he's lying.
And that's good.
Yes, it's comforting to me.
Okay.
It's
Because you want him to get elected.
well, it's disconcerting to me that every word out of a politician's mouth is a lie, but it can also be comforting because sometimes they say things that I can tell they think I'm stupid and I believe them, and that's disconcerting to me. Sometimes I see them. Let me dumb down the metaphor or simplify the metaphor, not dumb it down. But you have MMA fight, right? Like Conor McGregor is fighting whoever.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see this all the time. You see it in sports a lot, too. Maybe let's make it more American. College football. Ohio State is playing Michigan, right? Big game.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan's coach will come out and say something in the news the week before, like, man, our quarterback's shoulder is really sore. We're a little worried about how
so you're trying to change.
his
the
shoulder's
other-
not sore.
No. You're trying to make the other team focus on that.
Yes, all kinds of tricks. And this is fucking a bunch of meathead idiots doing this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they understand how to do it. College football, I mean, as dumb.
So you're saying you want Trump to be political in the sense that he's going to be messing with the other
I'm
party.
hoping that's what he's doing when he's saying all this pro-Israel stuff. Is he saying my quarterback has a source? He's fucking with people. It's also, I can't even allow myself to think too hard about is what if they're all being pro-Israel because they fucking have to be? I mean, I think there's quite a strong possibility that that's the case.
The influence that.
Like, are we really a vassal state
Yes,
of Israel?
The influence.
Are we a country or are we an economic zone?
Yeah.
I still want to know what is our fucking interest over there. I want to know.
That's why it doesn't make sense.
I
We got to
wanna
talk
know.
about that.
How is anybody going to stop a holy war? It's been raging for 500 fucking years. I don't get it.
Well, the other hilarity has been
So who cares what side
well, all
everybody's
this,
on?
George Bush started all this shit in the Middle East, and the entire left is the most anti-war, flower power, peace and love ever. And then all of a sudden, the Democrats, and they're now all rabid warrior fucking.
Yeah,
I'm like, what?
yeah.
Where'd all the anti-war shit go?
They were all, you look back the whole way to Vietnam, all the protesters for peace and love, they were all Democrats. And now look at them. They all want to go to fucking war.
Let's go kill
They
brown
won't come
people.
right out and say it. They won't come right out and say it, but that's the road we're headed towards right now.
This is the brand image issue Israel is having. And this is the 80% of young people. The young people see a bunch of white dudes
Yep.
killing a bunch of brown dudes.
Yep. That's wrong. We can't have that.
And Israel's like, man, we fucked that up. We've been trying to build this Jews are not white thing forever. But brown people don't see this. They say, yeah, you are. It's a bunch of white, and this is why Ireland is very pro-Palestine, because
Yes,
guess what they
yes.
are fucking hate is the goddamn British Oliver Cromwell motherfuckers.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
Ireland makes sense to me. And frankly, I'm almost...
Ireland would be a good asset.
Well, you and I
for us.
both got a lot of Irish in us, but that whole sort of rebel spirit is very American. It's
Yeah.
kind of like, why should I agree with what Israel's doing again? Someone explain that to me.
Please.
Because every way I look at
If
it,
you could give me one good interest we have, and all I ever hear about, that's our intel channel.
Well,
we
it's-
get all our intel of the Middle East through Israel and everything.
I don't know how, but they've lost
Bullshit.
control of the story. They were in
Yes.
control of telling the story, and now all of a sudden,
Yes, they have to get behind it.
it's like, no,
they're trying to
you're
catch
all
up.
every young person's like this. You've taught me this story.
This is what they-
White oppressors go plop down on some land full of brown people. They claim that it's theirs.
Yeah.
They oppress all the brown people, and then they slowly push them out into reservations, right? Sound familiar?
Oh my.
That is
not
what
here.
Israel is doing, and
Yes.
people are not stupid. They're like, I know that pattern. There's the bad guys.
Yeah.
You taught me that.
Yep.
And Israel's like, shit,
we don't screwed that up now, didn't we?
shit, you guys are anti-Semitic. It's like you're killing a bunch of Semites. I know what a Semite is. You guys are anti-Semitic. Israel's the most anti-Semitic fucking country on earth right now. They're
Yeah.
genociding Semites.
Yeah.
Those poor Semites. I wish I had a cool, random, made-up word and said, I don't want to be white. I want to be a Keltite.
A Keltite.
A Keltite, Germano,
Call yourself-
Anglo unicorn. You're being anti-Keltite, Germano, Anglo unicorn. You're an ant. Damn, I'm gonna workshop this term. I'm gonna workshop this term.
Gaelic.
I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm pro. Josh it.
Josh it.
You're wardist.
I'm a Wardian. Wardian.
A Wardian. A warrior Wardian.
I feel like there is a Wardian. I feel like that is a word that we do some weird shit here that just doesn't. It's not easy to categorize.
We make up our own language too.
Lynchian. David Lynch.
Lynch mob.
Oh my.
Are we entering David Lynch? Are we becoming that level of uniqueness? You know, you guys, you know what?
Close.
David
Close.
Lynch. You know,
We're getting-
David
We're
Lynch
getting
is.
there. We're getting there.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels a little strange every show to just be like, what the fuck's going on?
I'm telling you, man.
But that's how it feels every week.
Yeah, every week it's something else. It's like, how did we get here? Why are we here? And we just can't.
What
every
is the
week, man,
problem?
it piles up and piles up and piles up. I mean, this shitstorm's getting worse and worse. Now we got winter coming here.
One more month to go, I was going to say, yeah.
Yep.
What is the problem?
What
not
is the
not
pro-
thinking. You gotta do your own thinking.
I think every time you try to define the problem, you realize it's bigger than what you just
Oh my
defined, though, right?
God, yeah,
That's
I
why I
mean-
like this question.
Mm.
That's why I like it. I saw we had some super chats. Let me see if everything's running smoothly enough to pull those up here. It looks like they might be.
Super chat. Thank you very much, guys.
And let's address some of those here real quick. E. Lombard, nice to see you. Thank you, E. Lombard. Trideca 13, some ostrich stick money for the new studio. It may seem daunting, but remember that until you reach the peak of the mountain, all you see is more mountain. Well said.
Yes. Very well.
Steven Knizik. I want a new Rambo movie with 77-year-old Stallone running around. I'd watch it.
Hell yeah.
Linda Love,
I love it.
$17.76 for ammo.
Ah, cool.
Linda Love is the moderator of the Ask a Lady World Champion channel in the Gilded, which you see right above my head on your screen right now. It just says "Find Us." You're in there now too, right, Autist? We gotta figure out what username you're using so we can get you more visible.
Ammo. Send ammo.
We have eclipsed, I think, over 150 people now. It seems like 50 a month may be rolling in there. The conversations are getting more and more interesting by the day. And, of course, again, everything is taking off in January. But I would encourage you to get in there before January if you can, because we're kind of setting everything up. Make a name for yourself.
Yeah, you guys are good in the chat. I like the chat. I like to read them.
Excellent chat.
Yes.
Very sexy chat.
Thank you.
Is that you took credit for that, huh?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Quick admin thing. I think we've got all the cameras and sound and stuff. Of course, now we're going to pick up this whole studio and move it, and it'll all break again probably.
Yeah, you people. I'm telling you right now, our fans are not stupid. They are.
No,
very
they're
smart
not.
People.
They're not.
You can tell just by reading.
I appreciate everyone that has joined us for this sort of preliminary thinking about things. I can see it stimulates a lot of thinking in some of you guys as well, and then the ones that find their way into the Gilded channel. I mean, incredible, brilliant thoughts and discussions and animated, spirited discussions, right?
Yes, yes.
We all set ourselves up to be, allow myself to be attacked or play devil's advocate or things like that. But I really encourage you to get into Gilded, and it's something you can pick up in a 5-minute break at work when it's slow or something. Just see what people are talking about, or post a comment in the morning and come back at 5 p.m. and see what other people thought about it, that kind of thing. It's a good time. I enjoy it. Not entirely sure what OBS has got going on, but our potential future producer help has already mentioned Streamlabs, which is something I need to look at myself. So
There you go. There you go.
very cool. I'm about out of things to
I
ramble about.
I found one weird thing, man, in my readings and shit here. Actually, I just found it this morning. I'm gonna throw a name out there. Everybody in the chat, let me know if you know this name. Teddy Daniels. Has anybody ever heard or watched any of Teddy Daniels' videos or podcasts or anything? He came out with a thing that the government, here we go, has secretly passed a directive to FEMA that allows them to confiscate your food stockpiles if things get bad. They will be allowed to come in, take your stockpiles, and distribute them to the people that didn't stock up stuff. So, like I said, if anybody has any
So when we say
Yeah,
2024 could be a wild year,
this is what we're talking about, folks. I mean, they're going to come
this
in and raid my fucking pantry and my goddamn gun cabinet and take it to give it to some liberal who wasn't smart enough to see what the hell's going on. I'm telling you, man, this is the kind of shit that is actually going on in our government that nobody knows about. That if you dig deep enough, you will find these goofy stories and this bullshit right here. But yeah, FEMA has a directive that they are allowed to go in and take your stockpiles.
part of all this stuff going on does seem like part of the
That's
plan
right.
might
Come
be
get it, FEMA.
a controlled demolition of the United States. You know what I mean? It's kind of,
And I'm telling you what, man, the Democrats are the wrecking ball.
yeah.
They are the wrecking ball. I mean, I don't care. If you can
Or
agree disagree,
groups
but-
within them are like BLM and
BLM,
Antifa.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
quite a clear wrecking ball.
Antifa.
Extremist.
Huh?
Extremist.
They are.
Well,
and they call us extremists. They
read
call us
about
the MAGA extremists.
Hitler's brown shirt. Same thing.
Yeah.
Or
Same
it's-
thing.
Yeah.
You even
Militant wing.
I forget what the study was, but they were saying that the viewpoints, like the Democratic Party's gone even more so this way. The Republican Party's actually become the old Democratic Party.
That's kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I was saying. The Republicans, gay people. I mean, it's literally like it's classical liberal party almost.
Yeah. Yeah, you just...
Not that that's a
they're
bad
just-
thing.
It's just like they switched. Everybody switched ideas in the party.
Well, so no, I don't think they switched. I
Yeah,
think the
it's
left
like-
just fucking took off.
Yep.
They're like, hey, where Che Guevara at?
Like here's this balance line. It's like they've got the parties to push and pull.
Yeah.
And like everyone went that way.
They did. They did. And if you jump, I mean, okay, here's a perfect example. I love this guy to death, man. I have a family member who is a staunch Democrat, totally left. And I mean as far left as it's going right now, okay? Stopped over to his house just to see him for an evening. We're sitting there watching a hockey game. I was tired, and when the news came on, I wasn't feeling good, and the news came on. And this is right at the beginning of the Israeli-Palestinian war over here and shit. And I went off, what the hell, you know? And I'm giving him, and he's on the totally opposite side of the park, okay? Our quote-unquote discussion went on for 20 minutes. The last subject we were talking about, and I don't know why I do this with him because I always know the result, was about oil, about how oil's moved throughout the country, okay? And I said, well, pipelines are a hell of a lot safer than trains are. I said, when was the last pipeline accident compared to the last major train derailment? Oh, just last week. I said, show me. For the next 15 minutes, he sat there and went like this. When I left, I still had not seen the proof
Pipeline.
of the pipelines being worse than the fucking trains are. That is a classic Democratic play. I mean, that's how they are. That's exactly how it's either their way, the whole way to the left,
That's how it was
or
with
it's no way.
nuclear power as well.
You don't like nuclear power?
I do.
Oh, I was gonna say I do too, man. I think that's where we need to go.
Absolutely.
That's
Just
exactly
talking
where
about how when you try to confront them on it, they'll
Yeah.
swipe for 45 minutes and then change the subject.
Yeah.
Yes, and how you see that every day in the press conference with that wacko Jean Bonnet, what's her name? You see that every day. Every day they ask a question, and they spin around and spin around and spin around, and then change the subject to another question. Every day you see that from the Democratic.
I'm going to end on this note. Have you guys heard the word pill pull? Pilpul?
Pool.
I don't think so.
Look that word up.
Okay.
Not right now.
I'm just writing it down. Shut up. I got to write things down. I'm old. I forget.
The one problem with running a bunch of tricks on people in plain sight for hundreds of years is that smart people will start to notice the tricks you're running. Pilpul. That's the homework.
Isn't that what's going on right now?
No, this is Anglo friendliness.
They have been pulling this for how long? And the smart people, us, our fans, are seeing it.
Can only go so long. That's all I got. I hope everybody enjoys the remainder of this Sunday. If it was a little glitchy there in the middle, it might be. I kind of just had to stick with 3 cameras because OBS seemed to have shorted out. Reiterating what I said at the beginning, January, full time. We're going for it. Content, movies, music, film, TV,
Radio.
Squid Game.
Squid Game, cool. That's cool.
That's all I got. Autist, have you come up with a little sign-off line yet? Beep, boop, beep, boop, 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 beep.
That's pretty good.
I don't have anything. Just remember, folks, if you know what you're doing, you'll be fine.
That's it for today. I'm John Ward, and until next time, remember, you guys remember too, you are a world champion.
Later, folks.
Don't let your memes be dreams. What do you guys got going on after this?
Not a whole lot.
I'm taking the boys for a tour of campus and Beaver Stadium and whatnot.